Hello and welcome to Build for Birds. This is the third live lesson brought to you by Lego, Build the Change and the Day. And I'm Natalie, I'm one of your hosts and I'm in a rather rainy West Midlands and Bromsgrove. I'm so excited. We've had like 640 teachers sign up for this. So that could mean there's 19,000 of us watching and doing this lesson together, which is so exciting. So where are you? You've already been telling me in the chat, but please let us know what the name of your school is, your class, and where you are in the world. The chat, you seem to be finding it just fine. It's just down here on the left-hand side, giving a little wiggle. So while your teachers do that, and I keep an eye on it because it's going crazy, I'm going to introduce myself. So I'm Natalie. I am a teacher here at The Day, where we turn the news into lessons. And I work on the brilliant Build the Change Tuesdays, which encourages young people like you to come up with really creative ideas to solve people and planet problems. And that's what we're here to do today. In my spare time, I make art. So I love creativity, but I also love nature. And I take inspiration from going out into the woods and playing with my kids. I'm also joined by David, my co-host. So David, do you want to say hello now?
Hello. How you doing? Good to see you, Nat. Good to see you. Hello, everyone out there. How are you? My name's David. I work for the Lego Group. You've probably heard of the company and maybe even have some Lego bricks at home. I certainly do. I have lots. But I also am crazy about wildlife and nature. Nat knows this a lot. She hears me talking about it all the time. And I'm also a huge bird lover. Birds are my number one. So when we started looking at this topic as part of Build the Change, I couldn't believe it. And a lot of my team inside of Lego thought, this guy made this happen. But it wasn't, I promise. Anyway, we are here, Nat, right, for Build the Change. And I want to tell you a little bit about Build the Change. It's one of our biggest programs. It's all about connecting you out there to sustainability topics, planet topics, people topics. It's all about making the world a better place. So who thinks that's cool? I certainly do. I know Nat does. She doesn't have to answer that. Oh, she does. Yes, she is. We have a really short video. Well, before we watch the video, I think I just want to say it's all about getting your voices heard. So we give you a lot of challenges. We give you a lot of kind of creative challenges in Build the Change. And we want young people to create solutions, come up with cool ideas, crazy ideas, wild ideas that will get us grown-ups listening more to your ideas, because your creativity is amazing. And we want to get more grown-ups waking up to that fact. So let me show you a video of what Build the Change is, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah. Are you ready to build the change? The Earth needs your amazing ideas to take on the big challenges that our planet and people face, like protecting the environment or building a future where everyone is included. Building the Change is all about using imagination and play to come up with your creative ideas for a better, more sustainable future. Because your ideas are awesome. And everyone needs to hear them, from your friends and local decision makers to world leaders and people everywhere. So, are you ready to build the change?
Yay! Build the Change. Are you ready? Are you ready, Nat?
Yes, I'm ready.
Yes, you are great. Well, that's good. We're here today also because this weekend it's the 45th RSPB Big Garden Birdwatch. It's been running since 1979. It's nearly as old as me. And all month, schools can take part in the Big School Birdwatch. So we encourage you to check that out. And we'll talk more about that later. It's also my favorite time of year because really thousands and thousands of people are out there birdwatching and gathering data for scientists to see how our garden bird species are doing. Birds need our help more than ever. We all know nature has a few challenges at the moment and loads of people are doing all they can to help it. That's why we're launching our Build for Birds competition to get as many pupils, as many students, as many of you as possible taking part and helping birds.
Wow, I think we are going to. The chat has gone crazy. I can't mention everyone. There's so many amazing people out there. We've got people from Telford, not far from me, North Devon, Luton, Lyme Regis, Lincolnshire. We've got a special shout out to Great Oak Small School. We love nature too. Yay! We're so pleased you can all join us. Honestly, we're absolutely so excited. So let's get going. There's a few things I just need to take you through before we do get started. So this lesson is being recorded. So we're being recorded, you're not, so don't worry, but you are still interacting with us because it's a really interactive lesson. But the good news is if you love it that much, you can watch it back later again, or you can tell your friends and they can watch it back too. So it's interactive, which means you can interact with us in 3 ways. So the first one is through our live polls. So we're going to be setting you questions all the way through. A question will pop up and you'll be able to click on the right answer and we'll get to see your results straight away, which is really exciting. And the second way is in the chat, which you're all experts on already, so I don't really need to go through that. But you can also ask us questions for me or David or even our expert guest, more on her in a moment, using the question and answers. So if you look in the chat box, there is a question and answers tab, and you can click on that and you can ask us a question at any point and we'll answer it by the end. And I've got my team behind the scenes. We've got Rachel and Tara. Say hi on chat because they're behind the scenes. Rachel and Tara. And if you've got any technical issues or anything, just pop it in the chat or the Q&A and they will get back to you. And all you need to say is your imagination and your listening ears and your pens and your paper. Right, so let's get started. So today, what we're going to do, you are all going to take part in our Big Bird quiz. Okay, so like I said, it's really, really interactive. We're going to be asking loads of questions to see how many bird experts there are out there. And you're going to click on the poll and you're going to have to work as a team because you're going to have to agree your answers. And your teacher will then input it in so we can see. You're going to meet a real life bird expert called Lara, and she's amazing. And she'll be here towards the end of the lesson to answer all of your questions. So if you're curious about what working in nature and conservationism is like, she's the perfect person, and also David as well. So you can do that at any point. And we are going to find out, most importantly, why birds need our help and what we can all do to help them. And you're going to use all this as inspiration for our Build for Birds competition challenge. But more on that shortly. Okay, David, back over to you.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much. Now, before we get into that, we want to know if any of you out there are bird brains. Do you think you're bird brains? Has anyone ever heard that expression, bird brain? It used to be used as an insult, but scientists have recently proved that it's actually a huge compliment. Did you know some birds, like parrots, are even more intelligent than monkeys? And they use learning through play. Look at this one on this slide, sledging. I couldn't even do that myself. Or is it snowboarding? Maybe it's snowboarding. Look at that. Isn't that cool? It's a crow there. Now, crows and ravens use tools to find food and solve problems. And you might have even seen it online where they drop nuts onto roads because they know a car will drive over that nut and break it open, and they can't do it without that little bit of help. Isn't that incredible? So they actually found out, scientists, that crows have this problem-solving ability, that of a 7-year-old child. So that's pretty cool. So we can all learn a lot from birds. Super important.
Oh my God, I had no idea birds were so intelligent. I'm definitely not going to cross a crow in future. Okay, so let's see how many other bird brains there are in the audience. And we've got round 1 of our Big Bird quiz. This is the general bird brain round. So I am going to get you to use your bodies to vote in this round. So in a second, you're going to see 1 question and 2 possible answers. If you think it's A, you're going to stand up. And if you think it's B, you're going to sit down. Okay, so let me just pop the screen with the instructions. So A, stand up. B, sit down. Okay, so that means your teacher can see which is the most popular answer and they can input it into the poll when it pops up on the screen. And it's also going to warm us all up because we always warm our bodies up. So teachers, you're going to need to count which answer gets the most votes and put it into your poll by clicking the correct answer on the screen. Now, if you can, please keep a note of your scores because you can share them and you can show off about how intelligent your class is because we love some showing off as well along the way. So we're going to warm up. Are you ready to warm up, David? Don't make me do this on my own. Okay, brilliant.
I'm ready.
You're already standing. I'm going to stand up. So we are channeling our inner bird right now. So we're going to do a crow. We're going to jump up and down and skip and play. There you go. Do that for
Right.
Next, I want you to stand on one leg like a flamingo. How high can you get it?
Ooh.
Yoga, so I'm pretty good. Okay, brilliant. Right, if you've got room, spread your wings like an eagle. Give a good flap. Don't knock anyone over. If you haven't got room, get your little chicken wings out. Give a little twist. Oh, yeah, feeling good. And now shake your tail feather like a peacock. Yes, I hope that wasn't just me and David doing that. I hope you all joined in. Right, hopefully you're feeling warm now. Okay, let's go. So, first question. Birds have got some pretty silly names, and I know because I've been researching these questions and I couldn't tell the difference, but we are going to get you to see if you can tell a real bird name from a fake one. So some real ones are like banana quit or the go away bird, which is called that because it sounds like it's saying go away when it calls. Amazing. So I'm going to show you two names. One is real, one is fake. Can you tell which is which? So which of these is a real bird name? Do you think it's A, more pork, or B, Dracula Goodsucker? Okay, which one do you think it is? So if you think it's A, stand up. If you think it's B, sit down. David, I'm sure you know the answer to this, so don't give it away. Poker face. Okay. Right, okay. So you need to be counting, teachers, how many are standing. Okay, I'm going to pop the poll and you're going to click on the answer you think it is. If you think it's A, more pork, and there's more kids standing up, press that one. If you think it's B, Dracula Goatsucker, sit down. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm seeing the votes now as they're happening. I'm just going to give you a bit of time. Wait for it to stop. Oof. Okay, let's see. Drum roll, please. Oh, 69% think it was more pork, and Dracula Goatsucker gets 30. Okay, right. Let's see. The answer is yay! A, more pork. So, if you were standing up, you were correct. But Dracula Goatsucker is two real bird names combined. David, have you ever seen a Dracula parrot or a satanic goatsucker?
No, I haven't. But goatsucker is actually the old term for a group of birds called nightjars. And people used to believe, because they fly at night and they fly around cattle, so they used to think they were sucking the blood of cattle a long time ago. That is not true. That doesn't happen. They're very peaceful and lovely birds. But I've never seen that. I've never seen a moorpork either.
Oh, the moorporks look amazing. So what are they, like a brown owl? Beautiful.
Yes, yeah, New Zealand. And their call, it sounds like moorpork. So maybe
does it? Oh, that's where that comes from. But they don't eat pork, I assume.
No, okay, right, no pigs in New Zealand anymore.
Okay, I think you're all going to get this one right. I think this is too easy for you guys because you're obviously very, very good with your bird knowledge. So birds are direct descendants of dinosaurs. Stand up if you think it's definitely true. Think it's no way, it's false, sit down. Okay. I think this will be pretty conclusive. So true or false? Standing up, true. Sitting down, false. What do you think?
Okay.
Oh, can you see these moving too, David? Are you behind the scenes with the? That's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, look at this guy. It's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Drum roll. Okay, final answers. Okay. We've got 87% think it's true. False 12%. Wow. We've got I thought we'd have some dinosaur experts. We normally do, don't we, David? But
We
yes,
do.
the answer is true. Birds evolved from theropods and are related to the T-Rex. No way.
Absolutely. Even if you look
That's
at birds' legs now, you can see the reptile scales. That's from their distant past as dinosaurs. There are some
amazing.
even later dinosaurs that showed feathers growing on them. So it's
Oh,
pretty
really?
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this one here, what's this, the shoe bill? That looks like it's right out of Jurassic Park to me.
aren't they cool? Shoebill
They are
stork, a big stork. You may have seen those before. Awesome birds.
amazing. Right, so I think this one's a bit harder than the next one. So question 3, how many different species of birds are there? Right, if you think it's A, around 6,500, stand up. If you think it's B, around 11,000, sit down. Okay, I'm going to give you a bit longer for this one because I think this is harder. Do you, David?
It is. It's yeah. If you
It's a
don't know
trickier
your
one.
bird, you don't know. Yeah. Let's see.
Okay, let's see. Right, enter it into the polls. So around 6,500 standing. Is there more people standing up? In which case, click on that one. More sitting down, 11,000. Let's see. What does everyone
Okay.
think?
Who's
Okay,
coming in?
is
The
coming
result.
in.
Yeah. Let's see.
I feel like I'm on Eurovision or something. Do you? It's so exciting.
Yeah. Nil point. England. Nil point. That's what we're used to,
Right,
right?
yeah, definitely. Okay, last chance to put them in. People are still entering.
That's great.
Oh, God,
Good
you guys
engagement.
are so good.
Very
They keep
good.
getting them right, Dave. I haven't made them hard enough, have I? Let's see. So 83% and 16%. So you think it's 11,000. Those sitting down. Well done to you. It's 11,000. Amazing.
Well
There are
done.
actually 6,500 mammal species. Okay, wow.
That's right.
Right.
Now, there are so many species of bird out there. I've actually seen, I'm in the thousands now, the number I've seen personally. I'm crazy about birds, I told you.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm in the 300s now for birds just in the UK. So I'm crazy about it. But wherever I've been around the world to see birds, from the Amazon to the Thames Estuary, each area has been so different and supports very different communities. And this is what we call biodiversity. So this is what today's challenge really is all about. We're talking about birds, but it's about biodiversity and making sure we have rich, supported habitats for all nature. So biodiversity means lots of different species all existing together in the same place. This is what keeps the planet's ecosystem in balance. Now, let me give you an example of a place with low biodiversity. A car park, very low biodiversity. A garden lawn, very low biodiversity. If we go then to the Amazon or even a British woodland, very high biodiversity. So it's really important to keep this balance, and conservationists work hard to protect the ecosystem. But biodiversity is facing some challenges, everyone. I'm sure you know, and we're going to watch a little video now to give you a little bit more detail. Here we go.
Birds are today's dinosaurs. Some are fierce, some are gigantic, and some are just adorable. Birds spend time on land, in the water, and in the air. But these modern-day dinosaurs share their world with humans. Everything we humans do has an effect or impact on nature. This impact can be positive, but too often our impact is negative. Birds need healthy habitats to survive. They need somewhere safe to lay their eggs, plus somewhere to find tasty food. But all around the world, humans are destroying natural habitats. These small birds are called swifts, and they're found all around the world. They are incredible aerial acrobats. They spend most of their time in the air. They eat, drink, and even sleep whilst flying. Once chicks start to fly, they don't land for the first few years of their life. For thousands of years, some types of swifts have found small gaps in human buildings to squeeze into to nest. They do no harm, make little mess, the perfect neighbours. But human buildings have changed. Modern building designs have fewer places for swifts to nest. And this is one of the reasons there are fewer swifts surviving each year.
But the good news is people are working on ways to help birds like swifts.
One idea is specially designed bricks with holes that swifts can squeeze inside, with space to lay their eggs.
Other birds nest in different ways. This is a kiwi from New Zealand. They can't fly, are mostly nocturnal, and they're the only birds with nostrils at the end of their beaks.
Kiwis spend their time scuttling around on the ground in thick forests and digging burrows to keep safe. But over the years, humans have cut down lots of forest to make space for farms. Humans have also introduced new predators to New Zealand, like dogs, cats, and stoats. Since kiwi chicks can't fly away to safety, sadly, they are easy targets, and many do not survive.
But the good news is lots of people want to help kiwis.
The indigenous Maori people of New Zealand consider kiwis to be very special. Maori community-based projects create predator-free areas and build kiwi corridors so the birds can travel safely between habitats. That's right, sometimes our impact on nature is positive. People all around the world are using simple ideas to create healthy habitats, such as growing wild lawns, rewilding, making nest boxes and protecting forests and parks. And since everything in nature is connected, helping birds means helping lots of other living things too. None of these solutions are perfect yet, but with our creative human brains, we can keep thinking of new ways to make our impact on nature positive. We need your help to come up with more ideas to create and protect healthy habitats.
Together, we can build the change.
Amazing. That's lovely to hear. But our good friend Rosie at the Natural History Museum there, wonderful, wonderful working with her. So you heard it there, folks. Today's challenge is all about protecting bird biodiversity and the ecosystems by creating healthy habitats for birds around us. You've seen how people around the world are using simple creative ideas to build healthy habitats for birds and other creatures. And we want you to do the same. We want you to do the same. And that is what Build for Birds is all about. Because nature is connected. Helping birds means you're actually helping other living creatures too, including us, because we are also part of nature, of course. Birds are especially important to ecosystems because they perform some really important roles. One of them is that they help keep ecosystems in balance. We've got sparrowhawks eating birds. We've got smaller birds being eaten and everything in between. It's very important that those food chains exist and stay healthy. They also help us, believe it or not, because not only are they beautiful and we enjoy watching them, but they are also pollinators and seed dispersers. So the jay, you might have jays in your garden or local park. They are pretty much solely responsible for spreading oak forest across the UK in the past. It's amazing how they help these forests spread. Now, we also know that these birds, because they help pollinate, they're helping grow plants, they're helping trees grow, they're helping make food, they're building homes, they're helping us make medicine. All of those things are interconnected. So they also help us control pests by eating all the bugs that perhaps we don't want flying in our face every summer. Now, half the world's bird species are sadly under threat because their habitat is being destroyed by humans. So we've got some work to do, but I'm sure you can all do it. Now, it's of course very, very sad to hear that, but want you to understand there is hope and there's a lot of good stuff happening. And your ideas that you're going to share are going to help that hope grow. Now, back to you, Nat, in Studio One.
In Studio One. Okay, so we're going to go for round 2 of our Big Bird quiz. A few shout outs to some massive bird brains. I'm so excited. The Benjamin von den Schoenen School got 3 out of 3. Heathside School and 6W are on fire. Well done, you. And Bleak House and Castle Carrick School too. So keep sending us in your scores. We love seeing how clever you all are. I'm so proud.
Nice.
Okay, so next round.
Look at my mug. Sorry.
Yes.
Isn't that great?
Sorry. Can I be an official one now? I know a lot more now that I've learned all these. Right, let's get going. Round 2. Okay, Big Biodiversity Awards. There's 11,000 birds out there, and they're all amazing and a bit weird, some of them. So let's learn some more. We've just discovered the swift stay in the air even when they sleep, which is amazing, and they stay in the air for the first 3 years of their life, which is mind-boggling. But they definitely win a high flyer award in these awards. So we want to award some special awards to some of the most impressive birds. So in a second, I'm going to show you an award category and a clue with 2 possible winners. You've got to look at the clue and use your bird brains to figure out who from the 2 nominees is the winner. We can use our stand-up, sit-down voting system again, so you know how to do that, and you're going to answer the questions in the poll, just like the last time. So everyone up on your feet, get ready. David, would you like to do the honour of awarding the first category?
Sure. So this is the Foodie Award. This one, the winner of this award can only eat when its head is upside down and get their feathers colour from what they eat. Now, can you guess which one that is? We've got the flamingo on the left, and we've got the pelican, the mighty pelican, on the right. So you heard it from Nat. If you think it's A, stand up. If you think it's B, sit down. Let's see how we do. Which bird can only eat when its head is upside down? And gets their feather colour from what they eat. Wow. Nat, look at so far. Look at the results.
I really wish I'd made these harder, you know, David. Got some incredible.
I don't know. I've seen a few of the other bird eat with their heads upside down.
Have you? Okay. Not going to give it away. Okay, so what have we got? We have got, let's see the results. Massive 95% for the flamingo and 4% for the pelican. Let's see. And you were all right, David. What about the flamingo? What an amazing bird.
Love them. And of course, we get flamingos in Europe. If you go down to the Mediterranean, you get to see them around there. Sometimes they fly too far north and make it even up to northern France and even Scandinavia once. So flamingos have these amazing beaks. They almost look like whales' mouths when they open up. They have all these filters so they don't suck in all the mud and silt, and they get all the nice shrimp and stuff that they eat, which also gives them their colour. There we go.
Oh, beautiful. Amazing. Right, so my turn, the Small But Mighty Award. So the winner of this award is the world's smallest bird, smaller than many flying insects, and is able to fly backwards. So is it A, pale-billed flowerpecker? That's a mouthful. If you think it's that, stand up. Or the bee hummingbird, beautiful colours, sit down. Okay, let's do this one really quickly because you're all very clever. So let's see, which of these birds is the world's smallest bird? Answers on the poll, please. Let's see what you all think.
Let's see what they think. Beautiful birds, those two.
Beautiful, both of them. Have you seen either of these, David, while people vote?
I have not. I have seen many hummingbird species, but not the bee.
But not this one.
No.
Not this one.
Okay.
And the answer is okay. We've got 120. We've got 87% on the bee hummingbird and 12% on the pale-billed flowerpecker. The answer is yay! Well done. Bee hummingbird. Oh my God! Look how cute it is. But it is so mighty. A few facts: it uses 10 times more energy than marathon runners, and it visits 1,500 flowers each day for food to feed its calorie intake. And they beat their wings 80 times per second. Absolutely amazing.
That's
So final
amazing.
one. This is our Loud and Proud Award. David, do you want to take us through this one?
Yeah, so one of these birds is loud as a music concert, as a rock concert, in fact, not a folk concert, a rock concert with loud electric guitars and noise. Which one of those is it? Is it A, the white bellbird, which is found in the Amazon, or is it the capuchin bird? Let's see what you think. So stand up for the white bellbird, or sit down for the capuchin bird. Testing how I can say that. My pronunciation. Sheesh. So, what do you think it is? Which
This
of
has got to
those
be
is as
hard.
loud as a rock concert? This is
Okay.
tough. This is a tough one. This is a tough
This
one.
is a
It could
hard
go
one,
either
I
way.
think.
Absolutely. I mean, one of those birds looked like it dressed up for a rock concert, I think. Or maybe both
No,
of them.
yes.
I think one of them had eyeliner on. I'm not sure, which is really cool. Really cool.
Okay, what have we got? We've got 83% think the white bellbird, 16 think the capuchin bird. Love those names. And the answer is, wow, well done. Honestly, they are on fire. Well done to Jubilee High School. Got 100% so far. You can see why they're very proud. Should we listen, David? Should we have a little listen
I
to the
think
scream,
so.
scream of the white bellbird?
Let's have a listen.
Tell us what you think of that in the chat.
Isn't that incredible? Now, that thing dangling down from its beak isn't some lunch that it's got caught in its teeth. It is in fact part of its plumage, its mating plumage, and it must be quite bothersome to have that flapping around in your face all day. That's all I can say. Amazing singer, and they sing solely to attract mates. That's the main reason they do that.
And I did read that the female bird is silent as well.
Wow. I'm not surprised if the male is doing that all the time, poor thing. Oh my goodness. Right. Well, nah, we've got to know some amazing birds just now. They really are incredible. That's why I love them so much. They're so different. And I want to know now if there are any young birders out there. Let us know in the chat. We'd love to know. Do any of you go bird watching? Tell us where you go, what kind of stuff you see, because I think it's time to introduce our guest ornithologist and bird expert, Lara Nouri. Now, she's a bird conservationist, and she also photographs birds and makes nature programs for TV documentaries. Isn't that cool? Now, I went to meet Lara at the London Wetland Centre. It's part of the Wildfowl and Wetlands Trust. It's an amazing nature reserve, slap bang in the middle of London, and it's home to so many different species of birds, mammals, amphibians, and I've seen reptiles there as well in spring and summer. We did some bird watching. We asked her some questions. Now watch carefully because we might test you on what you've seen. Lara will also be joining us at the end of this lesson where you can ask her your own questions. So don't forget to share any questions you have for Lara with us. You can do that in the questions and answer box next to the chat, so we can ask her these later. All right, let's watch the video. Hi everyone, we are at the London Wetland Centre. My name is David and I'm from the LEGO Group's Build the Change team, and I'm also crazy about wildlife.
I'm Lara. I'm an ornithologist and an all-round nature nerd. We're here today to talk to you a little bit about birds. So let's go in and have a chat.
Let's do it. Now, Lara, I know, like me, you had a very early introduction and fascination with the natural world. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, of course. So I was always interested in nature from a young age. I think it's from, we were quite lucky to live right next to a big field next to my house. And I remember seeing birds flocking through, you know, in summer and winter, you'd see different things. And it really blossomed when I started taking photos. So that was what ignited it, and ended up studying zoology at university.
Zoology, nice.
Yeah, so all about animals and evolution and sort of how they work, their behaviour, and it just, it grew from there.
When you were younger, we talk about learning through play. How did that factor into your kind of nature love?
I always loved being out in nature, building dens. We had a woodland near us, and when you're a child, like, there's so much magic in everything in the natural world. It just makes it so, you know, your imagination can come with all these different things.
Totally. You do a lot of work yourself to help protect birds around where you live, especially, well, and beyond. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so I do a lot of surveying, basically to look at what birds are using certain sites, and that helps inform what should be protected. So if ever there's developments or buildings, you know, put in certain areas of land, it's really important to make sure that it's not affecting any of the birds that already live there. And you were telling me earlier that you do a lot of bird ringing. So you mentioned feathers and looking at those. That's a big part of... What is bird ringing for everyone out there? How does it help science and conservation? Bird ringing is where you catch birds using safe, proven methods. You put a ring on their leg, and basically that ring has a number on it that is unique to that individual bird, and it helps us learn. So when someone else sees that bird or catches that bird, then we can find out where they're migrating, where they're moving, how old are they. So it's really good for conservation purposes, for many different projects around the world. So, bird watching, it is for everyone. Anyone can bird watch. What do you need to be able to bird watch? Well, you don't need much, really. Main thing is a window for you to look out of. In your garden, you can go to a local park, basically anywhere where you can sit and watch the birds. Now, what birds can we expect to find in gardens in the UK? Well, we can find a lot of our tit species. So we have blue tit, great tit and long-tailed tit. You get things like dunnocks. You can get wrens. You've got things like blackbirds. You also get things like wood pigeons and collared doves. They're a bit bigger. All the way through to woodpeckers, if you're lucky. They can come and look for insects in your trees, or maybe if you put out fat or peanuts in the garden, they really love to come and eat those. Great, thanks Lara, that's awesome. I'm ready to get bird watching. Good stuff. Now, it was so lovely to meet Lara and tell her all, and hear, not tell her, share. We did share a lot of stories. We're both crazy about birds, but to hear all of her conservation work and her love for bird watching was great. Now, you can read the full interview with her in this week's edition of News Detectives Build the Change Tuesday. So please do check that out. Nat, there's a lot of chit chat, chirping on the chat.
There is. So who I've got more shout outs for St Hugh's and Foxes at Sigglethorne Primary, getting 100%, 6 out of 6. And we've got our own bird watcher, Alula. And there's a few, Susanna Best's 9-year-old, who also looks like a bit of a professional. So it's amazing to see people out there already birding. Hopefully we can get some more. But I just want to show everyone this image here of you as a boy. Oh, how old are you there? Is this where your love of birds started?
Oh, yeah, around that time. I loved reptiles and amphibians first when I lived in America, and then when I came back here, there was less of that happening. So I got into birds, and I never looked back. Yeah, love them.
So what do you do to help birds? Because we've just heard from Lara, but what do you do, David?
I actually volunteer. I'm part of a ringing group, like Lara mentioned. I bird ring probably every other weekend. We catch a lot of birds that are migrating, so we can measure how healthy they are, numbers, see how many come back the next year. It's really fascinating stuff. Really amazing. And I'm always out and about.
If the people watching wanted to get involved in that, how would they do that? How would they get started?
You should contact your local nature reserves and also check out the British Trust for Ornithology. Really catchy name. BTO is a lot easier to remember. They have trainers who train people and can give you more information. But do get involved. There's always a need for young people to get involved in these things, for sure.
And then last question for me, like, what are the main skills that makes you a good birder, do you think? Is there anyone they might not know they've got birding potential, but what could they look out for that would tell them?
I think the most key one, I'm sure Lara will agree, is patience and being able to stand still for 5 hours waiting for a rare bird. I did that in Japan last year. I was trying to photograph a very rare owl, and I waited 7 hours staring at the same piece of river, and eventually it turned up. So patience is one, and just an open mind to your environment, recognizing different habitats, different weather conditions. It's really cool. You have to incorporate a lot of stuff.
Amazing. So advice is get out there, and you need observation skills, don't you? So let's just quickly test you on what you've just heard from Lara. I've got a couple of questions now. So what do you think you need to start bird watching? Is it A, binoculars, a bird watching hut and a bird watching reference book? Or is it B, nothing, just a spot to sit in and watch the birds? What do you think? You can use your stand up, sit down, or you could call out. We trust you know what to do now. We're going to see these come in. What does everyone think?
While we're waiting, I saw someone mentioned that they'd seen some waxwings. I think it was Leah saw some waxwings in Bushy Park. They're having an amazing winter. They're turning up everywhere.
Bushy Park. That's a beautiful place to go. I can imagine there's some amazing birds there. We've also got Siobhan Brown says they've got a lot of gulls in their playground. Oh, that's wow. That's spoiler alert to the next question. Right, so let's see what you all thought. Brilliant. Okay, this is good. 89% think you need nothing. 10% think you need all the kit, but actually you don't need anything. And we know that. Sorry, that's gone on to a next slide. But next question. Which of these birds would you never see in a UK garden? Okay. Is it A, a dunnock, or B, a seagull? What do you all think? Okay, which would you never see in a UK garden? Think back to Lara and what she's just told you, and then submit. I think this one's a bit harder. Do you, David?
I do, but I'm also really interested to see what people think of the answer. No spoilers. Wow, it's really half 50-50 on this. 50-50. Really 50-50.
In fact, it was just 50-50.
There we go.
Let's go with, what do we got? 55% think a dunnock, 44% think a seagull. Okay, well, this is the best question for a split so far. It is, oh my God, there's no such thing as a seagull. Why is that a trick question, David?
It is. Now, sorry guys, it's a bit cruel of us, but there is no such thing as a seagull. It's a very common term. Now, I'm sorry, Nat, this is probably news to many people, but of course, seagulls refers to the group of gulls that were commonly found by the sea. But we all know that gulls turn up everywhere now. If you live near any type of water, you're going to see gulls. And there are, in fact, hundreds of species of gulls around them, maybe around 100 species of gull around the world. And in the UK alone, we have between 5 to 10 different species at least. So, good stuff. We are going to now move into some ID questions. I can see the slides moving. Are we ready?
Are we ready? So we need these in the chat. So the first person to identify it, let's see your birding potential brought to life. Okay.
So number 9. Number 9? It sounds, that's number 9 question. That's it. I thought I missed it.
Everyone.
Everyone's putting the answer in. They're quicker than me. Good stuff. We can see a lot.
Next one. We've got to keep this moving because they're too good at this. Look at that. That's crazy.
Good. Okay, what's this one, everyone? What's this one? This one's a little rarer in gardens, but still visits a lot of bird feeders. Which bird is this on the screen now?
We did have one there. It was Simon Ward. And before that, Leah Pilmer.
Yeah. I'm glad you are checking because it is so tough to see who said it first. but we can go back and check that, of course. It is the long-tailed tit, everyone. Well done. It does look like a pied wagtail. I saw someone else write that, but it's a very small bird. I love them because they look like flying teaspoons, like when they fly through the air. Okay, what bird is this? This is one of the most misidentified, one of the most misidentified birds in the UK.
Oh, we got some.
Yes!
Some. Yay, who was it?
We'll find out who it was first, but well done to that
Natalie
person.
Smith. Go, Natalie. Yes.
It's in the name, isn't it? It's in the name. So it is, of course, the dunnock. This is in its own group of birds. It's not a sparrow. It's not a finch. It's an accentor, and they are super cool. They used to be called hedge sparrows, but they're not sparrows. Well done, dunnock. Okay, what's this one? Go, go, go. What do you think? Which one is this? Okay. A little more tricky. One of our smallest birds, not the smallest bird, a very close third place after a joint first for Goldcrest.
Wendy got that one. I think Wendy
it
got
is,
it.
Of course, the wren. Well done, Wendy. It's the wren. Next one. What's this one? The clue's in the color of the bird. What bird is this? Let's see. Let's see what this
Esther.
is. Yep.
Is that an Esther? And Natalie
Esther
again.
got it first.
Julie.
Well done. Look at all these answers coming through. Amazing. This, of course, is our wonderful blackbird. What's this one, everyone? I've got 10 in my
Keep it
garden.
going. This is a speed round.
It's a speed round. Here we go.
Speed round.
As fast as a pyramid boulder.
Oh, we got one. Yeah, we got one.
The wood pigeon. It is a pigeon, but it's a big species. There are many species of pigeons around the world. This is one that we love, know and love, the wood pigeon. So very good. And a very small version of that. What is this? I also have these in my garden right now. I can see them. Yes, it is the collared dove. Well done, collared dove. Very good. Actually, an introduced species. So these were introduced from Asia, and they've done very well. They're also in America now too. So they survive anywhere pretty much. What's this one?
Last one.
Last one. What do we think this is? Extra points for the. Oh, someone's got it. So it is a woodpecker. Chris. Yeah.
Chris, go Chris.
It's actually. It's funny that bleeps in there. It's actually the great spotted woodpecker, and some of you got that. Well done. Good knowledge. I mean.
So we are running low on time because we want to get Lara on here. So you've shown us your bird knowledge, you practice your observation skills. It's almost time to use your creativity. We are going to skip the Best Nest Awards and maybe you can send that out to you. And we're going to watch our final video with Lara, who's going to give us some top tips on how you can build for birds. Katie, could you play the video?
You know, we're here today talking about building for birds and conservation, helping birds around the world, especially, of course, today here in London. Why is it important? Why do we need to do this?
Well, I don't think there's ever been a time that it's more important, because as time goes on with things like climate change and habitat loss, which affects the whole world at the moment, and also loss of food resources and feeding sites, it's so important for us to try and protect what we still have.
So Lara, what do birds need to survive, to thrive?
Well, boiled down quite simply, really three things. They need shelter, they need food and water, and they need habitat to breed in.
Okay.
So for different species, that can look very different. So some need water to feed in as well, some need woodland, and some need reed bed. So it's all very different depending on what species you're looking at.
Now, we need some tips for our Build for Birds challenge. And I'm with just the person, of course, that can give you her top 5 tips. Lara, what are those?
So I'd say, boiled down, the things you can do to help are making your garden wild. That can be through many different things, letting the grass grow long, encouraging those wildflowers to come through, even if they're just dandelions and daisies. That's great for insects. Secondly, I would put up bird boxes. These are great for birds that are breeding in the spring and summer, but also over winter. It gives them somewhere warm to shelter in the coldest of the months like now. Thirdly, I'd say put out bird feeders. You can feed seed, peanuts, fat. It all depends on what you prefer to put out there or what birds are around. But it really helps them through those winter months to keep warm and to find food in your garden. Fourth, I'd say put water in your garden. Even if it's just a washing up bowl with water sunk into your lawn, just a tiny bit of water can encourage amphibians, insects, all sorts of things, which in turn will help our birds that feed on those. And 5, I'd say bug hotel. So that can be just a log with holes drilled into it for insects to crawl inside, spend the winter, but also to breed. And then that becomes a great resource for the birds to feed from as well.
I love that. So you're really thinking holistically. You're thinking about how to encourage all nature back to help birds. That's how ecosystems work, isn't it?
Exactly,
And
yeah.
biodiversity. Great, thank you, Lara. So you've got your tips, you've got all you need. Get on with the challenge. We can't wait to see what you come up with.
Oh, that's so amazing. There's some brilliant tips in there. So I think you are definitely ready to start thinking about the challenge and then get on to meeting our guest expert, Lara. So our Build for Birds challenge, what are you going to do next is you're going to get outside and get to know your local birds. If you can, do the RSPB Big Garden or Big School Bird Watch, as happening this weekend and all month, and do some research and find out what your local birds need. Then use play and creativity to design a healthy habitat where they can rest and feed and shelter. And then you can take these ideas and make a 3D model using Lego or bits from nature or recycled materials, anything you want. There's no limits, just your imagination, and enter it into our competition. Now we've got lots of information on our competition worksheet. If you look at the little icons at the bottom, there's one with 2 little rectangles, and you can click on that and that will download the competition worksheet for you. But we will be sending that out separately to you as well. So you've got Lara's lovely tips, which is all on your competition worksheet, and we're going to be meeting her as well. And here's a bit of visual inspiration of what you could do. So bug hotels, recycled watering holes, you could do some big bird watch walls, big bird boxes, and look at this really cool Lego bird feeder here. But we want your ideas. We don't want to give you the ideas. We know that you come up with the best. So, David, shall we welcome Lara? Is it time to ask her some questions?
I think so. Hi, Lara, there you are. Good to see you.
Hello. Nice to see you
How are
too. I'm good, thanks. I've been really enjoying the quizzes so far.
Amazing. Well, thanks for helping us put everything together.
No
Lara,
problem.
we have a few minutes with you now. We've got some questions that have come in from viewers. Let's kick off and get stuck in. Now, the first one we had, what jobs are there out there working with birds?
There are so many. I didn't actually realise when I was younger and wanted to get into it how many jobs there are around birds. So I myself went into academic research and science. So you can do that through studying for a degree, and then you can do it through universities and other organisations. But there's also things like reserve wardens. So if you actually want to work on a nature reserve and actually practically look after a site that birds live on, you can also do that as well. But there's all things through to media, so wildlife photography and filmmaking as well. So with that, you get to travel around to other parts of the world to see them as well. And then there's even things like museum curation. So you could work with bird specimens in a museum, which is really interesting. And I actually worked in the Natural History Museum and got to see all the bird specimens there. And there's some really amazing experts who work in that. And then there's also things like veterinary science. So you could become a vet that specialises in birds, or a faulconer. There's so many options.
So many. And I love how it's gone into so many different areas recent decades. Now, some questions in the chat. What is your favourite bird species, Lara? Question week. So difficult.
I know it's a really difficult one. It would be easier to say a top 10, but if I had to pick one, I'd go with one of our native birds, and that's a linnet. So it's a small finch species, and you tend to find it on coastal scrubland or heathland or other wild areas, and they tend to be quite gregarious, so they move around in flocks in winter. At the moment, you see them in big groups. But the reason that I find them so special is because I've done a lot of nest monitoring work on them. So I've been lucky enough to actually find their nests following a code of conduct that's set out by the BTO that you mentioned earlier. So you have to follow a certain protocol to make sure that it doesn't affect them in any way, and you get to go and see how the nests progress. And that helps inform us like how well they're doing certain years, or if they're not doing well, why is that? But a lovely bonus of that is that their nests are so beautiful. They're very intricately made, and they've got sheep's wool in the lining, so it looks very snugly and warm in there. And their eggs they look like mini eggs actually. They're really cute little speckled eggs. And they're just beautiful birds. The males have lovely pinkish plumage as well, so it's definitely one to look out for if you're out and about in those sorts of areas.
I love them. I love their song too. They're beautiful. What's a good question here? What is easiest for us to feed birds? What's a good food?
Well, it depends what you get in your garden, but generally a good choice is seed. So you can get mixed bird seed, which has lots of different types in there for different birds prefer different seeds. You can also get one specific seed. So in my garden, I tend to use sunflower seed because we get a lot of finches and they love sunflower seed. But you can also get peanuts or fat balls as well. You may have seen those. It's like suet that's in balls you can put in feeders. And that's really good for things like woodpeckers. In our garden, the jackdaws love it. So once we put it out, it's gone in a day. But it depends. You try a different mix of things and see what you get. And if you find you've got lots of one thing, go for what they like.
Absolutely. Good question. And what bird is the most intelligent? Someone's asked.
Oh gosh, it's as you mentioned earlier, corvids have known to be intelligent for a very long time. There's been a lot of studies on them and how they actually pass the mirror test. So there's a certain test that sees if animals looking in a mirror can recognize that that's themselves rather than another animal. And there are a few that pass. I think pigeons do as well, weirdly, because people don't think the pigeons are that clever, but they actually are more clever than we think. And also parrots are incredibly clever. So there are quite a few. I'm not sure if there's one species that has the number one, but we have quite a few that are clever.
Amazing. And just to the point earlier, someone's mentioned they have jay feeding on the ground in their garden, and also someone saw a song thrush, which is a lovely bird to see in your garden, of course. Beautiful birds. Now, have you travelled the world, Lara? That was another question.
I was actually quite lucky to go to Australia last year. So it was the first time that I'd been to Australia, and it was amazing. Their birds over there are so different to UK birds. So even the things they think of as really boring, and we see them everywhere, for someone who lives in the UK, they're amazing. You see parrots and parakeets, and they even have these little birds called superb fairy wrens, and they're black and almost neon blue, incredible looking birds if you have a little Google of what they look like. And they're just everywhere, and people are just not fazed by it. But if you ever get a chance to go, I'd recommend to anyone to go to Australia just because of how different they are over there to here.
Absolutely. And just in a conscious of time, we have loads of questions here, and we're going to get back to them potentially on a blog post, I've been told. But before we let you go, Lara, there is a question on, what would you most like to change about how bird watching is viewed, how it's seen by others?
That's a really good question. I think it's definitely something that has more popularity with older people, and I think sometimes that can be quite intimidating for younger people who want to get into it, because when you're learning, it's quite daunting to go and see other people with lots of equipment and who know a lot of things. But it's really important to remember that everyone was learning at one point, and still are. There's a lot I still don't know about birds. There are many birds around the world that I wouldn't be able to identify. So it's really important to remember that, and remember it's accessible to everyone. Don't be fazed by other people knowing more than you. It's just an opportunity to learn from them. So I think it's mainly that accessibility. Like, if you want to do it, you should go and do it, even if it's in your local park to start with, and then heading out to nature reserves where you would see things that are a bit more tricky to identify. But it's all about having fun at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Well, Natalie, I don't know about you, but it's been an absolute pleasure talking with her, hasn't it? Yeah? It's been awesome.
I've learned so much and such brilliant advice. So thank you so much, Lara. And thanks everyone for the brilliant questions and for taking part in the quiz. So I think you're ready to get going. There's some amazing prizes, but you also get the chance to be a biodiversity hero and feel really amazing about yourself. So I think that's reason enough to do it anyway, but we hope you use all the knowledge. So the next steps, we really hope you will fill out the feedback form for this lesson so we can keep making it better every single time. Teachers, there'll be a pop-up survey that comes, but we will also send it to you via email, and you might be able to win some Lego as well if you fill it out. Then we want you to get outside and get to know your local birds and reimagine a green space near you into something where birds can thrive. So Lara's given you some amazing tips: wild gardens, bird boxes, bird feeders, watering holes, attracting insects and frogs, and bug hotels. So some really good starting points, but I think you're going to come up with some amazing ideas and I can't wait. So make sure you get the competition worksheet. You can download it here or from the email, and don't forget to make a 3D model using either Lego or recycle bits, and then get your grown up to enter it into our competition by Tuesday the 5th of March. And I think we've run out of time, but we've got all the crucial information in there. So it's just time to say thank you. Thanks to David and to Lara and to all of you. And we can't wait to see your ideas. David, do you want to say goodbye?
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lara, for joining us and doing that filming with us. Keep playful, keep your ideas coming, and let us know what you come up with. We can't wait to see what you create. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.